on board for it. And then they ended up getting him. I think they probably just drove up to his house in a dump truck and just dumped piles of money onto his lawn.
So wait, they started filming this show without having their main villain cast?
Yes. And I'm pretty sure that they didn't know what the fuck they were going to do. But they got him. But it works out well for the story because he's kind of a specter that, you know, he's looming there and you don't see, like, you know.
This makes me think about one of the big revelations from episode 6 and how much of that was just because they didn't have Bill Skarsgård available.
Remind me when we get there because I'm curious to know. I'm not sure what you're talking about because that was Bill Skarsgård, the one lady's dad.
Yeah.
No, that's Bill Skarsgård.
No, I'm talking about how like she was. It was her in the graveyard. That one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I like how we're trying to keep this just general enough to avoid.
Like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah. There were theories about that though, but we'll talk about it. Like people kind of I think guessed that was who it ended up being.
That is fair enough, but also I am confused as hell about how the bad guy and Pennywise, if they are even separate things or the same thing, how all that works.
I will be able to explain it.
Okay.
I think we are ready to go.
Well, dang. I think we better just go then.
Let me take a quick sip of my coffee. Caffeine. Let's go. Welcome back to Jedi Enclave. I'm Daniel.
I'm Chris.
This is your weekly. Well, actually, it's not even weekly. We weren't here last week. Well, holy fuck.
This is the Jedi Enclave presents the Now This Is Podcasting podcast.
Our weekly, in theory, weekly podcast about Star Wars, Star Wars accessories, fantasy, sci-fi, Pennywise, which has been in our
Pennywise
lineup a
the
lot.
Clown.
I forgot to put this on the lineup, and I'm gonna put it right up top because I'm positive you've not heard of this. Yeah.
All right, hit me.
Have you heard of? Did you see Quentin Tarantino's diatribe against Paul Dano today?
I did not.
Okay. Apropos of nothing.
Okay.
Unsolicited, for no apparent reason. Quentin Tarantino went and grabbed the first person he could find and was like, you know who really sucks? Paul Dano. And everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, well, you know, he was in that one movie of mine. I can't remember what movie it is. And he's just literally said he's the worst SAG actor. And called him like, just like said it. And then he was like, I really wish I had cast, fucking, what was that guy's name that played the bald guy in Dune 2?
Oh.
The really sexy one.
So the one that Paul Atreides stabs in the end?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That guy.
I know who you're talking
He's
about.
like, I wish I had cast him in that movie. And then they were like, but he was 16 at the time.
I don't fucking
He's like,
care.
I don't care. So it was really funny. I saw someone I follow on Facebook. So we follow each other. Sith Core. Mm-hmm. It's a core page. Posted, I wonder whose feet Paul Dano licked to piss Quentin Tarantino off so bad.
I am entirely in favor of this degree of hater energy. Like,
so the thing that gets like kind of the thing that gets dicey. So first of all, it just feels mean spirited and kind of manic and out of nowhere. And I said that on social media today, and they're like, by manic, do you mean just way too much cocaine? And knowing Quentin Tarantino, probably.
Yeah, wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, so like there's that part of it, but also Quentin Tarantino is kind of a genius.
Yeah.
So you're like, fuck.
Does Paul Dano suck?
Does he? So like you go back and watch The Batman again because he plays the Riddler in The Batman, and he's actually really, really good. And then what's the other movie I saw him in recently? He was in a Steven Spielberg autobiography-ish movie that closely followed the life events of Steven Spielberg as he was growing up, but it wasn't really Steven Spielberg. It was like, Steven Spielberg or whatever the fuck. And he plays Steven Spielberg's father.
Okay.
And was amazing in that as well. And I don't think I've seen him in anything I've disliked, but man, Quentin Tarantino is pissed at Paul Dano, and I wish I knew why. If you know why, let us know in the comments. Welcome back to our weekly podcast. We weren't here last week. We're so sorry. It was Thanksgiving last week. We had shit to do. We're back this week. We'll be around for a couple of weeks, and I imagine probably we'll take a break over the Christmas week. So today we're talking about Star Wars. A little bit of Star Wars news, not much. And I'm sorry, I wish we could talk about Star Wars more.
But there just isn't Star Wars happening.
There's not a ton of Star Wars happening. When we finish it, Welcome to Derry, we'll be able to do some Star Wars story times. Because there's like a little bit of time in between now and January.
There's like 1 or 2 weeks maybe where there isn't like Night of the Seven Kingdoms happening yet.
January 19th, that show comes out. We finally have a release date from HBO. And I'm going to be smashing my face into that like Quentin Tarantino into a giant mound of cocaine.
Or feet.
And just follow me along here. Feet covered in cocaine. Also, YouTube just looked at that. The AI just looked at that sentence and was like, "Oh, okay, you're done." Oh man, what was I saying? Star Wars news. We're talking about it. Welcome to Derry. 2 episodes because we missed one last week, and this show is like, we finally gotten to the meat of it. The main attraction of this show is shown up, and it is fucking glorious. And
it's pretty spooky.
Yes, and if you're a fan of Stephen King, particularly the book It, like, despite him being the bad guy, Pennywise shows up, and we're all fucking cheering because we finally get Pennywise. And then you didn't watch, but I watched the Stranger Things season 5 premiere on Netflix, which is as of today the most viewed property on Netflix ever, which is a little insane. Is making a big splash, but on the same hand, isn't really like that hard to believe since Stranger Things is kind of like it's like the flagship.
I've never actually watched it, but it's supposed to be really good.
Well, so what is that sentence you just said? You've never actually watched it? Well, that's okay, Chris, because my partner John and I just finished rewatching it over the last few weeks, and after every season, I typed up like a quick 3-minute thing that I'm going to read a la like ASMR podcast. And so we're gonna get through that and we'll talk a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit about what happened in the first part of the 3-part series finale. So like the first part happened last week, the next part's gonna happen over Christmas, and then the 3-hour series finale is going to happen on New Year's Eve.
Honestly, I'm just amazed you're not subjecting me to a buzzed recap of the whole show.
We were going to. I just had too much shit going on.
Okay, fair enough.
You have no idea how close we came to that. In the fact, I wish you had said that a week ago, because I just would have, I would have stayed up all night and made it happen. All right, let's talk about a little bit of Star Wars first.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this means there's trouble in paradise over at Star Wars Starfighter, or if it's just kind of how Star Wars movies are made now. But
both?
Probably, yes. So just a quick background. Sean Levy is making a Star Wars movie with Ryan Gosling. And
actually making, like they're actually filming it right the fuck now.
Right, yeah. It's not one of those things that's going to get canceled, I don't think.
I mean, they're not Warner Brothers, so they're probably not going to cancel it for the tax write-off.
For the tax write-off, yeah.
But
you would hope not. So it turns out they shot the entire movie, and I don't know if it got in front of a bank of...
From what it sounded like to me, they were in the middle of shooting, and then someone said, "Hey, your third act actually sucks. Go rewrite it."
Yes.
And Sean Levy was like, "Well, maybe my third act actually does suck. Let me go write something better."
Yeah. This is... So did they write it or did they shoot it?
I believe he said write it.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if this ended up in front of a test audience or something, and there was some shit in there that they didn't like. This to me feels a little bit like what happened on the set of Solo: A Star Wars Story when Lord Miller was still attached, and they were filming a lot of the movie, and it was a completely different feel than it ended up being, and the execs at Lucasfilm got a little spooked and kicked Lord Miller out and then brought in someone else to do it.
So here's the exact quote. This is exactly what Sean Levy said. Quote, "We had a whole different idea for something in the third act, and then things didn't align, and I was forced to come up with a new idea. And I'm literally right now shooting that section of the movie."
Okay, so he hadn't shot the original.
Right.
Okay.
He went on to say, good. "Every day I'm grateful that the way I was supposed to do it didn't work out because the new idea that it forced me to explore is so much better than the original idea would have been," unquote.
I have a picture of Mickey Mouse standing just off screen with a shotgun pointed at him. Like, read the fucking script.
That is what he would have said regardless. He could think the new idea was complete dog shit that was being forced upon him by Bob Iger and the Disney ninjas, and he would still say, it's going to be so great.
It was all my fault. It sucked. Yes. I'm terrible. Disney is great. I really wish... Okay, so... On one hand, maybe, I don't know, maybe it was not very good. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, though, like, Lucasfilm, if you're going to hire somebody to do something, just let them fucking do it. Because this is not the first time, or even the fifth time, that this has happened, where they get close to the end of a project. Mm-hmm. It sounds like maybe he was close to filming the third act already, and then maybe he had to rewrite it before they started, or whatever. And it generally does not go well for the movie, depending on which way you're looking at it, whether or not it's Book of Boba Fett or Solo: Star Wars Story. Mm-hmm. But like Rogue One, it was a good thing.
It worked out okay.
We think, Rogue One, because we don't know what actually happened in Rogue One. So I don't know. The other thing in this too, where they're kind of like talking about how Kathleen Kennedy seems pretty attached to this idea that they're laying their legacy characters to rest, at least for a little while.
Because they're going to pull out and dust them off at some point down the road.
Probably when it's long enough where they're like, oh, all the original fans of these characters are dead, so we can finally recast them.
Or when the AI technology
is there,
that they can just have AI simulacrums of everyone.
Right. So, anyway, I don't know. This is one of those things. It's going to come out May 20th, 2027.
And I guess we'll just see how it is done. That's shocking to me that they're filming a movie now and we're not going to see it for a year and a half. Like, it shouldn't be shocking, but, like, it's just... It exposes what sort of timescale big Hollywood movies operate on.
They do a lot of shit like way far in advance. Yeah. And some things never so you and I just saw Wicked for good. Would you believe me if I told you that's been in production since like 2008?
Yeah, I think I would actually.
It's been they've been working on it for a really long time. Not necessarily with like a director or actors attached to it.
Yeah, but like trying to shop it around. Yes. Studios interested and finding the right people.
Right. So turns out one of the actors involved in Ahsoka season 2 is not returning, who is Claudia Black, who plays the Night Sister Mother Clotho in season 1. And everyone's like, well, why? Why would you not go back to Ahsoka season 2? And she's like, well...
Disney didn't give me enough money.
I'm a single mother in Los Angeles. I have rent to pay, and they wouldn't give me a pay increase. So I told them to fuck off. And you know what, Claudia Black? Good for you.
Yeah.
Because fuck those guys.
They could 100% afford to have given her a raise.
Yeah, and not even a out of this world.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have even missed the money. Honestly, they could have been like, you know what, fine, whatever. We'll never miss it. We have so much money. We'll literally we'll never miss it. But because they are who they are, they were like, no, fuck you.
You don't make money by giving money away.
Yeah, and also we hope your kids die. Is what I imagine they probably said.
Yeah.
So, this isn't going to have a huge impact on the show, honestly.
Yeah, like the character, well, based on what we saw in season 1, it's not a huge character, right? She's one of those...
No, and she's got a lot of makeup and shit on, so it really could be anybody and still look fine. It's kind of like the Borg Queen in Star Trek has like 3 different actors, but I can't tell them apart, but John can.
Yeah, because they all have the big prosthetics and shit.
Right.
On.
Yeah. So it's going to be one of those things, or either that, or they'll do a Cara Dune and be like, she died.
She died on the way to her home planet.
Yeah. They got she died in an X-wing accident. It was very sad.
A rock from Alderaan smashed her head in.
All right. We got to get through this.
All right.
So we can get to it. Welcome to Derry. Now, a few years ago, an incredible phenomenon of video streaming.
It was happened. A Netflix show called Stranger
Yes,
Things.
It was you better stop stealing my thunder. This show, when it came out, rocked the world because a lot of people were really interested in it. It had a child cast that was very, very good, which is pretty. I feel like it's not as rare nowadays, but then it was like pretty rare. And the whole show had this aesthetic because in the first season, we're in the 1980s, so everything had this like retro feel to it that was really amazing and everything, and everyone was like kind of hooked immediately.
I mean, everybody's seen E.T. and they all love
it. It's very Spielberg / Stephen King, and the people love Spielberg and people love Stephen King, and both of those things together, people are like, fuck yeah. They went on to make 4 seasons of it, for better or for worse. There are some seasons. The first season, I'm telling you right now, is pure magic. Like, it really is amazing. My partner and I watched it a few weeks ago, and it's like, oh yeah, this show was on fire. Like when it first started, and it's fine.
It had its ups and downs.
Yes, it has its ups and downs. I'm not sure what the plan originally was, how much of it they thought they were going to make, but like eventually it suffers from a lot of, we should invent a term for this, and it should be the Battlestar Galactica effect, where like the story starts veering off in weird directions where you're like, you're writing this as you're going along, aren't you?
I would argue you could almost call it the dog chasing car. Like, what is the dog even going to do if it catches the car?
Yeah, good point. I like that. Okay. Miss Psycho Kitty says, hi. Well, hello, Miss Psycho Kitty. How are you? Also, Armad Tyler's probably around as well. So
hi, Tyler.
So I'm going to recap each of these seasons in 5 minutes or fewer.
All right.
Okay.
5 minutes total? Or
no, not 5 minutes total. 5 minutes or fewer for each one.
All right.
And I want you to jump in when you have a question or you don't understand something. Or in between seasons.
I have my stopwatch ready. Are you ready?
Well, don't do that. You're gonna make me real nervous, and I piss myself when I'm nervous, and I want to do it on camera. Not a lot of people know that. I just got nervous. I pissed myself.
Sorry.
I get what you did.
It's all my fault.
I also invented fun little season-wide titles.
Okay.
That kind of encapsulated the mood and everything. So this is season 1, The Vanishing of Will Byers, who is a character in the show. In the fall of 1983, in a quiet town of Hawkins, Indiana, 12-year-old Will Byers disappears on his bike ride home. With no witnesses and no clues, the search begins immediately. His friends, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, refuse to believe Will is gone and launch their own investigation, as kids are wont to do in a movie like this, or in a show like this. By the way, he's riding his fucking bike home, sees a figure in the road, and is like, "What the fuck?" And then veers off into the woods, makes it home, makes it into a shed, grabs a fucking rifle, and is like holding it on the door. And we don't see what he sees, but we see his face, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then that's the end, and he's just gone. Right?
Okay.
Will's mother, Joyce, is certain her son is still alive. She begins receiving strange signals through flickering lights and eventually communicates with Will through the alphabet and Christmas lights in her living room. And if that sounds a little crazy to you, it looks very crazy on screen.
It's literally just a Ouija board.
Yes. Police Chief Jim Hopper, haunted by his own past, starts to uncover a disturbing pattern tied to the heavily guarded Hawkins National Laboratory. The boys soon discover a strange, frightened girl in the woods with a shaved head and supernatural powers, who calls herself 11.
Okay.
She can move objects with her mind and seems to know what happened to Will. She leads them to a terrifying truth. Will is trapped in a shadow dimension called the Upside Down, hunted by a monster known as the Demogorgon. Now, all of these terms, this group of kids they are avid Dungeons and Dragons players.
Okay.
And so
back when that was satanic.
Yes, and not everything that is everything they find names for, it's not like they're trying to understand what's happening through the lens of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, so you go using words they know.
Right. So you go look in like the source book, you'll find a Demogorgon and shit. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, teens Nancy Wheeler and Jonathan Byers search for Nancy's missing best friend Barb, who vanished the same night as Will. Their investigation reveals the laboratory opened a portal to the Upside Down while experimenting on 11 as a psychic weapon. Hopper and Joyce break into the lab and enter the Upside Down themselves. They find Will barely alive and rescue him just as kids face the Demogorgon at the middle school. 11 sacrifices herself to destroy the creature, seemingly dying in the process. Do you think she actually did?
No.
Of course she didn't. Will returns home, but the nightmare isn't over. He coughs up a mysterious slug, and a final glimpse of the Upside Down confirms the door is still open.
That's not good.
Yes. Season 2, The Mind Flayer. 1 year later. How am I doing on time?
Well, that was less than 3 minutes.
All right. Nice. Okay. 1 year later, Will is back, but he isn't whole. He's plagued by horrifying visions of a massive shadow creature looming over Hawkins, the Mind Flayer, the true ruler of the Upside Down. It becomes clear that Will is being slowly possessed from the inside. Dustin unknowingly adopts a strange creature he calls Dart, which grows into a deadly Demogorgon dog called the Demo Dog, connected to the Upside Down hive mind. New students, Max Mayfield, joins the group.
Well, why does he still have this evil dog?
Okay, so the dog grew out of one of the slugs that Will spit up.
Okay.
And he raises it from birth.
Why?
And it eats his cat. I don't know, dude. They're teenagers. They're kids. They do weird shit. New students, Max Mayfield joins the group, while her violent stepbrother Billy brings danger and unpredictability to Hawkins. Meanwhile, 11 has been hiding with Hopper, learning about her past in the laboratory experiments that turned her into a weapon. Eventually, she sets out on her own to discover who she is and where she came from, which launches her into a side quest episode to Chicago that the fan base universally hates.
Huh, okay.
The Upside Down begins spreading underneath Hawkins through massive underground tunnels, poisoning crops and infecting the town's energy. The Mind Flayer fully takes control of Will's body and turns him into a spy for its invasion. The group barely saves him by forcing the creature out through extreme heat. That's another one of those things where like,
so they set him on fire.
No, they just put a bunch of those big like rack heaters around him.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't set a 12-year-old on fire, Chris.
I mean, how extreme heat are we talking about?
Not that extreme. In the Hi, son. I'm going to set you on fire. In the final battle, the Mind Flayer launches a full assault on the lab. The Demodogs swarming the halls. 11 closes the massive gate between Hawkins, trapping the Mind Flayer in its own dimension. The season ends at the snowball dance. New couples form, friendships evolve, but in the final shot, the Mind Flayer looms silently over Hawkins from the Upside Down, proving the war is far from over.
Dun, dun, dun.
In this ball, by the way, there's a killer needle drop of Sting's Every Breath You Take, because that song was on fire in the 80s. Season 3, The Battle of Starcourt. By 1985, Hawkins has changed. A massive new shopping center, Starcourt Mall, becomes the heart of the town, but behind the neon lights, something far darker is happening. The Soviets, because it's the 80s, and of course the Soviets are going to show up, have secretly built a base beneath the mall, attempting to reopen the gate to the Upside Down. Dustin intercepts a Russian transmission.
Wait a minute, isn't this just the prologue from Black Widow? You know,
son of a bitch, it kind of is. Dustin intercepts a Russian transmission, pulling Steve, Robin, and Erica into a dangerous underground investigation. At the same time, the Mind Flayer returns, this time possessing people directly.
Somehow the Mind Flayer returned.
Oh, you're going to see some clear parallels between the Mind Flayer and who is actually the villain to the whole Palpatine
Oh,
thing.
Fantastic.
It takes control of Billy Hargrove, using him to assemble a terrifying new physical body made of human flesh. Dozens of townspeople are absorbed into the creature. Hopper...
That's not good.
No, it is kind of gross. Hopper and Joyce investigate the growing threat as tensions rise among the kids, now entering complicated teenage relationships. 11 begins losing her powers after removing a fragment of the Mind Flayer from her body. The final battle erupts at Starcourt Mall as the flesh monster hunts the group through the burning corridors. While the kids fight for their lives above, Hopper confronts the Russian gate machine below. He destroys it, but is seemingly killed in the explosion. Now, do you think he's actually killed in the explosion?
No.
No, he is not. Oh, by the way, spoilers for Stranger Things. I just realized.
Question.
Okay.
If extreme heat forced the Mind Flayer out of the one kid's body, wouldn't, everything being on fire force the Mind Flayer out of the disgusting flesh amalgamation?
I don't know.
Well,
they do use they do. I think they at some point they do use heat against it again.
Did I just open a plot hole?
Well, no, I think that actually that's how they end up fighting it a little bit.
Okay.
So you're correct, but it's The Mind Flayer collapses. The gate is closed, but Hawkins is changed forever. In the aftermath, the Byers family moves away with 11. Starcourt is destroyed, and a chilling post-credit reveal. A mysterious prisoner in Russia is referred to only as the American, meaning that Hopper is still alive.
Another question.
Okay.
Where is the federal government in all of this?
They don't show up until season 4.
Okay.
Well, actually, because the Hawkins laboratory is I think it's guarded by the army. I think.
Okay, so they're just not involved when all these paranormal creatures are going around destroying the world?
I'm not exactly sure. If you are more like if you know the answer to that and you're not satisfied with the education that I'm giving Chris in regards to Stranger Things, put it in the comments. That way we know. Season 4, Vecna and the Beginning of the End.
Ooh.
Months later, a new evil emerges in Hawkins. Teens begin dying in gruesome supernatural murders.
I thought you were going to stop. New evil emerges in Hawkins. Teenagers.
Teenagers. Motherfuckers. Teens begin dying in gruesome supernatural murders. Bones shattered. Eyes destroyed. It is actually, the whole thing is really gross. They lift up into the air, and their arms break, and their arms and legs break in random ways, and their jaw breaks, and then they just fall over dead. The killer is revealed as Vecna, a psychic entity who preys on guilt and trauma.
Two things that teenagers have plenty of.
Yes.
Near universally.
Yes. The friend group is split across the country. 11, now powerless and struggling, is taken into a secret government program to recover her abilities.
Here, let's just stick this Mind Flayer back inside you.
Yes. Through relived memories, she uncovers the horrifying truth. The lab's first test subject, Henry Creel, became subject 001 and eventually transformed into Vecna after 11 banished him into the Upside Down as a child. He is the true architect behind everything. He's the guy. He's the guy that's been controlling the Mind Flayer. He's been controlling the Demogorgons and everything. It's very Palpatine and Snoke. In Hawkins, Max becomes Vecna's primary target. She narrowly survives by clinging to her favorite song, which is a Kate Bishop song, proving that music can interrupt Vecna's psychic kill process. The group formulates a plan to stop him once and for all. Meanwhile, in Russia, Hopper endures brutal imprisonment, forced to fight Demogorgons in gladiator combat. I just realized how silly that sentence sounds, but it is what happens in the season.
Okay.
And when you watch it, it's not bad. And actually, you know who one of the guest stars is in this subplot? The guy that plays Jaqen H'ghar from Game of Thrones, and he's really, really good. Joyce and Murray mount a desperate rescue mission and succeed, but the cost is enormous. In the finale, the group launches a 3-front assault on Vecna across dimensions. They weaken him, but they do not destroy him. Max is killed, then revived, left blind, and comatose.
Oh.
Most devastating of all, 4 massive gates rip Hawkins apart, merging the town with the Upside Down. Ash rains from the sky, Vecna survives, and the apocalypse has begun.
Dun dun dun!
Okay, so that was 4 seasons. Under 12 minutes?
Yeah, roughly, 230, 245 a season?
That is the most succinct recap I've ever done in my life. I just want everyone to know that, and I would like a little bit of credit for it. Before I go on, Miss Psycho Kitty says, be prepared. I have so many questions for you gentlemen. LOL. Let me ask first, do you have kids? No, we have each other, and we're not even into each other like that.
He has 2 dogs.
I do have. I have 2 dogs and a partner.
Anyway.
Okay, so the whole reason we went through this Song and Dance is because just recently season 5 premiered. It's become Stranger Things is already a cultural touchstone, and now it's all wrapping up. And what's really funny actually is that like all the kid actors who are involved in this project are all like of drinking age now, and they're still playing like high schoolers.
I mean, Dawson's Creek.
It is a little like that, yeah. So what I didn't mention before is there is the boy that's originally kidnapped, Will Byers, is the show's gay character.
Okay.
And he starts to realize it in season 4. Or, well, in season 3, really. And he kind of starts feeling like he might be in love with his best buddy, Mike.
Okay.
And it becomes a thing because it's the 80s. It is not okay to be gay in the 80s. And he's a teenager in love with another boy who he can't tell, right? So there's that whole thing going on. There are also a myriad of other relationship things that we don't have time to talk about. And honestly, other than that one relationship, or I guess coveted relationship, none of the rest of them really matter that much.
Okay.
Mike is in love with Elle, 11. Will is in love with Mike. But we're pretty sure, and I'm sorry, Byler fans, I don't think he's in love back with him. So
it's just usual teenager shit.
It is. So because Hawkins was kind of like ripped apart and like has like portals to the upside down everywhere in it, now the federal government has stepped in.
Good.
And it's like, what the fuck have you guys been doing here?
They probably should have been more involved from the beginning, but...
So they've locked the whole town down. Everyone's quarantined, but everyone's still going to school and shit. Everything's like normal, but like there's a, there's a giant military presence.
There's just, gates to hell everywhere.
And they know that Vecna is... Because they attacked him, he didn't die, he disappeared, and so they're like, well, we got to find and kill Vecna. So they've been doing these crawls, and they're like dungeon crawls. That's why they call them crawls. Everything in the show is very like they love the Dungeons and Dragons thing. So they do these crawls in the Upside Down where they scan different sectors and try to find Vecna and shit. But like the military can't know about it because they're all like 2 of them at least are very wanted. Like they want to imprison them. Linda Hamilton is in this episode, who you might know as the woman from Terminator.
Oh
yeah, she's amazing. She is so fucking good in this season. Quite a bit older than she was in the 80s and 90s when she was in Terminator.
I mean, aren't we all?
Indeed. Still a world-class actor. We find out that the military is colonizing the Upside Down. Because it's the American military, and that's what we do.
I guess.
So, the president, they're like, Mr. President, we have found an interdimensional copy of this town in Indiana.
It's literally hell.
Yeah. And like on top, like here's the school, but like it's the school, but it's all broken and shit. And the president's like, son, colonize it.
God, this reminds me of Doom, the 2016 or the one Doom where they make this energy reactor on Mars that is literally powered by hell. Like they just call it hell energy.
It is. Yeah, actually, it is a little like that.
Like there's this power company on Mars that just powers the entire solar system via hell.
Yeah. So Vecna is still trying to kidnap kids. Except he's doing it a little smarter now, where he's appearing to them as a normal dude, and he calls himself Mr. Whatsit. And the reason is he's trying to kidnap these kids from this particular class who are reading A Wrinkle in Time, and one of the good celestial beings is Mrs. Whatsit or Miss Whatsit, and so he calls himself Mr. Whatsit, and is like trying to kidnap them all. And we're not even really sure why yet. He needs 12 of them.
Probably to eat their brains or something.
Or I don't even know. That's a very Pennywise thing.
But
maybe. I don't know. And so they're trying to figure out how to stop him and shit. And so they're like, well, we don't know if we can stop him because we can't even find him in the Upside Down. So we're just going to protect the kids. And there is this hilarious fucking bit where they find one of the best child actors who has never had a single acting credit in his life, who is practically live action Cartman. And he's brilliant, and he's one of the ones that Vecna wants. And there was this whole thing. I'll probably actually have to show you some of it because it is too funny to be believed. So all this shit's happening. Will is trying to deal with him being in love with his best friend and also being gay. Mm-hmm. And it turns out that one of their friends, Robin, who is the daughter of Uma Thurman, who is also really amazing. She's really, really great. And who is a lesbian. And he catches them like making out somewhere. Okay. And it's like his brain chemistry. He's like, you're allowed to do that? And so he's like, so how did you know that she wanted to do the kissy? And she's like, well, there are signs. And he's like, what kind of signs? I need to know everything. Tell me everything. Yes. And she eventually, toward the end of this first part of the season, she goes, look, because she sees him flirting with Mike. Mm-hmm. And then she sees Mike's reaction, which is lukewarm, mm-hmm. right? He's very clearly in love with Ellen. Yeah. He's not gay. And she's like, when I was your age, there was this girl that I liked who I thought was the one. And everything I did it to make this person happy. And I got to tell you, when I finally figured out that I should be doing things for myself and living my own life and finding the person that will love me back, I felt so free. And you need to do that too. And all this shit breaks loose. Fucking half of the party finds themselves in the Upside Down. Hopper and Elle are in the Upside Down at the fucking military base with Linda Hamilton shooting at them and shit. They find in this base, I mentioned the one episode that everyone hates from episode 2. Yeah. One of the hated characters from that episode they bring back.
That was deliberate.
Oh yeah.
Like, you motherfuckers fucking hated this episode? Yeah. Well, guess what? It's required reading.
You are having more of it now, and you will say thank you. So at the end, they're all in like the military base in Hawkins, and they realize just a moment too late that Vecna is coming from the Upside Down into the real world. Huh. And there is this brilliant fucking Darth Vader entrance. He comes in from the Upside Down. At first, you just see his shadow. Mm-hmm. And he's just tossing soldiers right and left. And 11, their fucking mage isn't there to save them. Oh. She's somewhere else, right?
That's not good.
And this is also a good time to mention that Will, being the first the first person that Vecna kidnapped, has always had a weird Harry Potter Voldemort connection with him, where he can kind of sense him, and he's like sensing, he's able to sense Demogorgons kind of and shit. But he knows that Vecna's coming. Vecna lays waste on this fucking military base, kills like everyone, and grabs Will and was like, you know why I kidnapped you and why I'm kidnapping all these fucking kids? It's because you are all the most physically and emotionally weak beings I could find. And breaking you is so easy. And let me tell you, you were the easiest to break. And you know that your mind doesn't belong in this world. And anyone listening to this, like in the show, is probably like, okay, what a weird thing to say. All of us knowing that Will is gay knows what Vecna means, right? Yeah. And then he just drops him. And he's like, it doesn't matter what any of you fucking do. I got the kids. This is over. And he turns around and he walks away, goes up into the Upside Down, and sixes Demogorgon things on everyone. And they're a couple miles away. Some of his friends are about to get killed by a Demogorgon. Over here, someone's about to get killed by a Demogorgon. And across from him, several yards away, the love of his life, his best friend, is about to get killed by a Demogorgon. And he just goes Super Saiyan. Mm-hmm. And Mike, who is about to get clawed to death, looks up, and this thing is just floating in midair, having a seizure. And he looks over at Will, who is Dumbledore fucking aura and everything. Yeah. And he kills them in the same way that Vecna killed all of his victims, which is all the Demogorgons get raised in the air and their limbs snap in awkward positions and their jaws snap and then they just fall over dead.
That's disturbing.
Yeah, and he just drops them. And it is this really cool because before he discovers this power, he gets this, he hears that lesson that his friend was trying to teach him about accepting who he was and like remembers all of these formative memories of him when he met Mike and like, you know, these moments he had with his brother and his mom and everything, and just kind of accepts himself and ends up getting superpowers and shit. And that's where this part of the season ends. And it's some of it throughout the seasons or throughout the episodes of this part of the season. A lot of it is great. Like a lot of it is really great. Some of it is like, why are we still doing Vecna? But whatever. And then the end with Will, I'll probably show it to you when we're finished, is like, holy God, that's really cool. So let's move on.
Okay.
We got about half an hour. I got about 20 minutes. I think maybe
we'll make it work.
We'll make it work. You and I, of course, have been watching and very much enjoying It, Welcome to Derry. We have 2 episodes we have to talk about that happened this week and the week before that we didn't get to cover because of Thanksgiving. We're getting into episode... Spoilers, by the way. Spoilers for everything. That's all we do on this fucking channel. We spoil everything. I'm so sorry. Episode 5, 29, Neibolt Street. You know why this is really special?
Why?
Because fans of Stephen King's It knows that 29 Neibolt Street is a very special address.
Honestly, while I was watching this episode, I thought, you know, that is probably very significant from the way they shot it.
Yes.
And Dana's going to tell me exactly why.
That is where the original Losers Club from the main characters of the book, that is where they first go to find Pennywise and try to kill him.
So it makes sense that's why the military went there to go there.
Yes. Which, by the way, have you noticed the whole military thing has taken a back burner the last couple of episodes? Like after this episode, after what happens, I'm wondering maybe if the general guy is like, oh, all the guys we sent down there died.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't the best idea.
So you remember that in the previous episode, what's her name? Tried to cut her eyes out.
Yes.
Okay, so we start there. Marge is recovering in the hospital, and she looks at Lily with her one eye and was like, "I thought you were full of shit," and what the fuck is happening?
I buzzsawed off my own eye stalks.
My own eye stalks that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And Lily's like, motherfucker, I told you. I told you there was a demon thing chasing me around. And she was like, well, fuck the patty cakes. I'm your friend now. Yeah. She's like, great. Which, by the way, the only reason that Lily is not in Juniper Hill right now is because
Marge said, you know, it was all me. Like, Lily's cool. She was trying to help me.
Yeah. Now,
which, to be fair, she kind of was.
Yes. Now, something really disturbing happens after this, which is that the group kind of they rendezvous at the top of the thing that they hang out with. They go up there with Ronnie and Will, Rich, and they find someone in the tent up there, and they are shocked to discover that it is Maddie, who is alive.
Holy shit.
Yes. And he tells them what happened after that movie theater scene, and it's really harrowing and disturbing. He got pulled down in
the sewers, and he watched Pennywise fucking
eat his friends.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, there's a clown down there keeping everyone prisoner. And they're like, okay, so we're going to go to the cops. And Maddie's like, no, we're not going to the cops. I'd rather go down to the sewers again than go back to my family, because his family's like really abusive and shit. So they're like,
Lily's like, hey, go down to the sewers. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I guess we'll go down to the sewers and kill the clown. And
he's a clown. How hard could it be?
Right. And of course Rich is like, that's just the dumbest shit I've ever fucking heard. But they overrule him. They're like, because the whole thing is that Maddie's like, Phil is still alive down there, we have to go save him. And so they're like, okay, well, for Phil, you know. So
have half of these kids even met Phil?
Well, Ronnie has.
Okay.
Lily has.
Yeah.
I don't think the 2 boys knew him, or like, you know, probably in their class. But
I don't know if Marge did either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So with the information that Dick Halloran retrieved, General Shaw instructs Leroy and Fuller to supervise an operation in the house in Neibolt Street, where they should find the 13 pillars, which are...
Okay. I need to talk about this because this entire military operation is incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
I can kind of get why they're sending Leroy in there because he's the man without fear. He's
Right.
theoretically the best one equipped
Yes.
to deal with Pennywise.
And Dick Halloran is a psychic juggernaut.
Yes.
Honestly.
Okay. So those two make total sense.
Yes.
Why did they bring in Leroy's wingman?
Like
He's a pilot. He's
Yeah.
not a combat ground soldier.
Yes.
He should not be anywhere
Right.
near this.
That is good. As you said when I was pointing out a flaw in the story, or in the story of Battlestar Galactica, the answer is drama. That is the reason why. Because
it's the same reason that Battlestar Galactica has its pilots always leading the combat on the ground
Yeah.
because that's the only characters we know.
Right. The correct answer to this question is that they needed to raise the emotional stakes because it's someone that Leroy is close with.
Yes. And for another sloppily done reason that we will get to in time.
Yes. So basically, we have all these two converging lines. They have the military side, and they're also taking the native kid down there with them too.
He's their guide to show them where the pillars are.
And they have the little dagger, right? And but there's this conversation that he has with his aunt.
Taniel has the dagger.
Yes, but there's this weird conversation he has with his aunt where it seems like maybe they're up to some of their own shit, that they're like leading him in there for a reason. And then the kids are going with no plan at all other than let's get really high on benzos to rescue Rich.
My
right?
favorite part of this is Lily's like, okay, everyone just take three
Take
of these.
three
It'll
of them.
be fine. Like, these kids are tripping balls
Yeah.
going into the lair of this extra-dimensional horror.
Yeah. Just because your mother pops one every half hour does not mean that your metabolism can handle 3 benzos.
You're like half her weight. What the fuck are you doing?
You are literal children. That shit is hilarious, by the way, because they are just popping benzos like crazy.
And they're just sort of walking down the sewers like, whoa,
Yes.
is anyone else hot? Because it's really hot down here.
There is this really cute moment of Marge and Richie's burgeoning romance.
They're totally going to smooch.
Yeah. The romance starts picking up in the next episode. So anyway, everyone ends up in the sewers. The kids are following Maddie, and he takes them down to the right spot and reveals himself. It is not actually Maddie, it's Pennywise.
They foreshadow this because Maddie is the only one who's not visibly high.
With the benzos, that is right. And the introduction of Pennywise here is brilliantly done, and I don't know how they did it. Part of me thinks it was but part of it was practical. But he's like doing this weird stripper dance on a pole.
Yeah, he jumps up on this pole and starts singing this song, which I'm sure you recognize from somewhere. Or maybe not.
Okay,
I
think it was just some song, right?
And then his head like splits open, and
Yeah.
Pennywise starts climbing out and like turns Maddie inside out like a transformer, and then it's Pennywise spinning on this pole.
This is the big reveal of Pennywise, and he turns around, and looks at the kids, and says, "Duck and cover, kiddos," and then just starts chasing him.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, this is that moment where Stephen King fans are like, "Holy fuck, it's Pennywise! Let's go!"
Yeah.
Right? And so he's chasing the kids around.
Meanwhile, the military is following Taniel around. Dick Halloran jumps into this puddle of water that everyone else had fun, and then he submerges and winds up in his subconsciousness.
Yes.
Where he has his grandmother, his psychic manifestation of his grandmother, and then what I'm assuming is supposed to be Pennywise in the guise of his grandfather.
Yes.
Who comes in and starts saying all this horrible shit and like at one point pulls out a gun, shoots his grandmother in the knee. And then Dick Halloran has this like locked box in his brain, and grandfather's like, you know what, we're gonna fucking pop this open it up for me, Dick. And Dick's like, I'm not gonna open that. And grandfather's like, all right, I'll just fucking open it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is significant because we know in Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining, Dick Halloran teaches Danny Torrance that when you are followed around by ghosts, especially in an area that is manifested, where a lot of people have died, you can lock them away in a lockbox. And that's what his grandmother taught him how to do. Because Dick Halloran's psychic ability, his grandma had a little bit of psychic ability, but his psychic ability is tremendous. And so he had a lot of dead people following him around. And
he's like, I just don't want to see you guys.
So he figured out how to put them in a psychic lockbox, and they disappeared, right? And this is what he teaches Danny Torrance to do. And that's the significance of this, is that Pennywise gets into his brain and is like, oh, what is this? What is happening in here? I want to meet these people, and rips the box open. And so now, like, especially in the next episode, Dick is just walking around like, oh, that's a dead dude.
That's a dead dude.
There's a lot of dead dudes.
A dead dude.
Yeah.
That's a dead dude.
So there is this weird bit where the group kind of converges, and Leroy realizes, first of all, he sees an apparition of his wife, and he just shoots her.
Yeah, just shoots her in the head.
Yeah, because he's like, well, that doesn't make sense. It should be down here. And
of course, it's Pennywise, who, after floating in the water, finally does this little creepy face and then skitters away.
It just skitters away. He's like, gotcha. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, look. If you see anything that shouldn't be down here, anything at all, doesn't matter what it looks like, fucking shoot it.
Yeah, it could be my son down here.
Yes.
We're shooting it. And then right around the corner runs his son. And he's like, oh, well, like I just said, we better shoot it. He takes aim at him, and his buddy, the pilot, was like, wait a second, I see him too, and jumps in the way for some reason and gets shot.
Except he doesn't jump in the way. The way it is shot, like, this is my biggest gripe with the episode and probably the show as a whole to this point.
The geometry is very strange, yeah.
Like, they're standing approximately the way you and I are sitting. You know, Leroy's is shooting this
just
way.
Like this, yep.
And then he reaches out with his left hand to kind of point the rifle away and then gets shot in his chest.
Right. I think what was supposed to have happened is he was supposed to, like, go, no, like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Which, you think you just, like, push him over. Like, no, that's your kid.
The only possible explanation I can think of this is that somehow Pennywise was screwing with one or both of their minds so that they both thought that he was clear when he was actually in the line of fire, but even that...
There's a better way to do that visually.
Yeah.
It's just... I think they needed it to happen, but they weren't sure how, and I don't know, they cut corners with it. Yeah. So there is this hilarious bit where Taniel loses the magic dagger.
Yes.
And it's floating around in the sewers.
And the kids are running from Pennywise, and Lily gets separated from them, and Pennywise just kind of chases her into a corner and starts prancing forward and like takes on the form of her
turns into monster. And then turns into the
has all the spiky teeth, and then like stops like a couple feet in front of her.
This is fucking hilarious.
Looks
to me.
down into the water.
Yeah.
Looks back at her. Just skitters away.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they were trying to play this for comedy, and I don't think that Pennywise was trying to make it funny. Mm-hmm. I think he was probably really worried.
He was just like, I need to go so as to not be here anymore.
But the way it's shot is he goes to lunge at her and just stops, and he doesn't look down with his whole head. He just looks down with his eyes, and he's got this look on his face like, the fuck?
Oh.
Okay.
And then that's a thing. Bye.
Yeah, it is. It was like John and I laughed when we watched it.
And Lily so picks it up.
Yeah,
and
she's like, what the? Oh, wow. Okay.
Why is this glowing?
Now, did we find out? Did Taniel die down there?
I don't think so.
Most everyone died except for Leroy, Dick Halloran, and probably Taniel, I think, and the kids. Yeah. I think all made it out. So
that's the end of episode 5.
Yes. So episode 6, In the Name of the Father, Leroy is screaming at Will for being in the sewers and was like, "It's your fault.
You were supposed to be like, I moved you and my wife onto the military base so that you wouldn't be in the line of fire in Derry, which is like within the spooky zone of Pennywise. Why I told you not to go anywhere. Why the fuck were you there?"
Yeah.
And his son is like, well, my friends needed me, and you always told me that a man stands by his friends, and I was just trying to be like you. And Leroy's like, you are not me.
Yeah. Also, my friend's dead. And his son's like, well, whose fault is that? And then he gets smacked right in the fucking face. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the lore that we got in this. We find out that Mrs. Kirsch was the daughter of a traveling carny clown.
Yes. Who went by the name of Pennywise.
Pennywise, and her name was Periwinkle. And they had this little thing they did, and one day her father disappeared.
Yes.
And then he reappeared because she stayed in Derry. The carnival moved on.
Yep,
she stayed in Derry.
She took a job as a nurse at fucking the mental hospital.
Juniper Hill, yeah.
Juniper Hill.
And she finds out there's a kid talking about Pennywise the clown in the basement.
This clown wants me to go down to the basement. I don't really want to do it because he was fucking creepy.
And she's like, oh.
That's fine. Like, you know what? Just come on down to the basement.
Let's go down.
It'll be fine. Let's just see what this is about.
The kid gets eaten. And she sees her father. And then Pennywise disappears, as he does for 27 years. And so It was hinted at, I believe, that she's been delivering children to him. She's like the Ghislaine Maxwell of...
A little bit.
Like, yeah. And now...
So here's my question.
Okay.
Is her father actually Pennywise, the extra-dimensional alien?
No.
Or...
No.
Okay.
No. Her father was a guy named Gray. His last name was Gray. It was just a dude.
Okay.
So this was Pennywise's problem. Pennywise needed to feed on people, preferably children because they're tastier.
Yes.
Preferably scared out of their minds because they're tasty.
Because that's spicy.
Yes. And it gives him strength. He started to figure out that he could appear as big monsters, but then everyone ran away from him. Yes. And he's like, shit, if they get out of the woods too fast, then I can't eat them.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, well, I'll pretend to be a person. And so he would pretend to be a person to people. But then people would realize, they're like,
that
dude's
really
kind of
creepy.
weird.
I don't want to go near him.
Because he couldn't do he just couldn't act truly human because he's not. And he would freak him out and they'd run away. And so he's like, well, actually, this guy's onto something with this clown thing.
You know who's always kind of weird?
Clowns are goofy. Yeah, clowns are goofy and they do weird things and kids love them. So he kills this guy and then takes his identity as Pennywise the clown.
Okay.
And then in that basement scene, he realizes who she is and as a way to manipulate her, appears to her as her father. So, no, her father is dead.
Okay.
Now, she is, what's the clinical term for this? Fucking crazy. Because she knows that he's got another episode coming up where he's going to kill a bunch of people. And she just knows that if she can appear to Pennywise the way he remembers her as a girl, that she can snap him out of it. Right?
Surely.
And so her whole plan is to lead a bunch of racists to a black bar and get everyone killed and dress up as Periwinkle when Pennywise gets there and go, hey, Dad, and everything will work out.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Yes.
Now, we're skipping over some stuff because we had to kind of rush through these a little bit. That's my fault. I'm very sorry. However, I will say this kid Richie can play the fucking drums, as it turns out. So all the kids end up at the bar.
Which is now a jazz club, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a joint. Yeah. A Air Force airman serves 2 children alcohol. They're just like, can I have Cokes? And he's like, well, how about rum and Cokes? And they're like, I guess.
He calls them Air Force Cokes.
Yes,
and to be fair, by the end of it, Marge is like, I love Air Force Cokes.
Their drummer, the jazz band's drummer, gets drunk and passes out.
And they're like, hey, you have drumsticks in your pocket. Come here.
You play the bass drum in the marching band. Come over here. Here's a pair of brushes.
And like, this is at least almost believable because, like,
I've seen kids that age play drum set pretty well.
Jazz is the sort of idiom where, like, if you know how to play drums decently well, you can just kind of sit in and, like, be okay.
Especially if you're, like, if your thing is jazz, which it would be in this time. Everyone listens to jazz. Yeah. It is the modern day. It is the pop of their day. Yeah. It is believable. He wouldn't be playing this well, but this kid's got some fucking chops, and he starts out with a brush comping thing, and it starts doing fills and shit, and
then at one point just takes a solo.
Yep.
And everyone else is just like, you know what, kid, you got this.
Yeah, and you know that one saxophone player is like, damn. All right.
Yeah. And of course, Marge is watching. He's like hamming it up a little bit.
Oh yeah. There is a bunch of romance brewing because there's Leroy's kid and Ronnie, and then there's Richie and Marge. Lily, I guess, is going to be by herself forever. And then all the racist white dudes show up because they know that the wanted fugitive is there. And
they all put on their plastic masks and they got their guns.
Yes.
And that's where the episode ends.
Yes. And there's a bad thing about to happen at this fucking bar. So.
We left out the part where crazy Periwinkle lady reveals all that shit that happened to Lily, and Lily's like, you're fucking nuts. I'm going to stab you in the hand with this dagger and run away.
Yep. Which the dagger did really nothing to her because she's not Pennywise.
Sure.
She's just like, ow, I have tetanus now.
But I wonder, because like there's some significance to stuff that has touched Pennywise, or like things leave traces, I guess, is what we're supposed to take. Because earlier, Dick was guiding them by the slingshot. So I wonder what happens, like, if she, with her
like, if there's like a little shard in it or something,
or something, or even just the essence of that cut gets left behind and she tries to touch Pennywise.
Yeah.
Because like that, there's a shot of her where they focus on her bandaged hand really closely.
That's actually that's a fair point. You're probably onto something there. The thing is that, like, Pennywise's only interest in her is to eat children.
Yes.
Right?
It's what she can get for him.
Yes. And the second that she's not able to do that, like, she's gonna be like that bitch in Star Wars who fell in love with Darth Vader.
Oh yeah.
And stole his cape and sniffed it and everything, and then shows up to his
my lord, now we can be together, and he just fucking kills her.
And kills her, right. That's how this is gonna go. Like, she's gonna show up and be like, Daddy, and his face is gonna turn into that thing and he's just gonna take a big bite right out of her forehead or something. Yeah. Another great thing that generally happens in this when we get to the lore exposition dump is that Bill Skarsgård has amazing range.
Yeah.
Like the way that he plays human Pennywise the clown, the traveling carny clown, and Pennywise the interdimensional horror clown is really cool. And every one of these fucking Skarsgård guys, I swear to God, they're all amazing in different ways. So. Good job.
I have one final thought.
Yeah.
We know that this show has 2 more seasons, like, ordered.
Yeah, and everyone is further back in time.
Yes. Yeah. So this, like, it makes me think that it presents them 2 major challenges. First, in terms of writing, like, at some point you have to assume that your audience has caught on to what's going on and that you don't have to show the kids of each progressive cycle learning all the shit that we know from the first one.
Oh, like doing an exposition dump every season?
The same exposition dump, specifically. Number 2, the other big challenge is finding a group of child actors who can do as good a job as these kids are doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, as you touched on in Stranger Things, child actors have come a long way in the past decade or 2. But at the end of the day, there
aren't tons of them.
Yes, there aren't tons of them that can do that.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. But it's given the popularity of this show. This is massively popular on HBO. A lot of people are watching it, so they're definitely doing it. And I think they've already greenlit them anyway.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter.
I think we talked about this 2 weeks ago or something.
So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of handle that. Jamie says, "What's up? You mean Sarah Connor, right?" Yes, we did mean Sarah Connor. And Jamie says, "Happy birthday, Punk." Thank you. I just realized my birthday's tomorrow, but Jimmy is in Australia, so it is tomorrow today. Yeah. Thank you, my friend. I greatly appreciate that. Speaking of tomorrow, I do plan to be around for some Battlefront with the boys. So if you're around tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, come and join me for a birthday celebration. It is my good friend Matt's birthday as well. Oh, cool. Who he and I were born on the exact same day, same year, everything.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it's really cool. And I randomly met that man on Battlefront. It's just kind of one of those things, serendipitous things. Mm-hmm. So thank you for joining us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure you let us know what you think in the comments and everything. Go and join us on all the. We have over 100 followers on TikTok now.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
100.
Yeah, I know, it's fucking great. One of our videos has like 120,000 views. So damn,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, not to brag. So anyway, we do appreciate your company. You guys are awesome. We love you. And